Lee S. It's been a long time since we've done this.
I swear, man, it really has.
Oh, man, had so much stuff going on. You've been on vacation, living the old Timothy Pike's laptop lifestyle, as they say.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he said I needed to get a better watch, so I decided to wear my better watch for this.
Show. What is that? What is that?
I've had it for a while. It's a
Freaking Rolex.
it's a '80s. It's an '80s model.
They don't age. They just get better.
Except for this one, it is losing time.
So I know he is.
Hey,
This is looking like El
thank you, Sam. I
Pablo.
appreciate it, man.
El Pablo.
Do
All
what
right.
I can.
We ain't done one of these in a while. I need about 30 seconds to prep some screenshots, so I'm gonna sneak in this intro.
Hit it.
Okay. So I took a lot of time off. Not a lot. I took a couple weeks off. Good week and a half, 10 days, whatever.
It wasn't that long.
It
Too
wasn't.
long for me, though. Too long for me to not be talking to you in the room.
I know. I disappeared for a while. But look, summer trading for one. Kids are out of school for two. Just had some personal stuff going on for three. And then four, I mean, you were on vacation.
I know, man.
You were trading from the ocean on a laptop on one hand and a beer in the other.
Something like that. That was sort of what I was doing. Jet said you're a slacker.
Yeah, you were trading
Hey.
from the ocean.
Yeah, really what I was doing was trading on my other laptop and just ruining that one just for the hell of it. just to get under Tim Sykes' skin.
Good stuff. But hey, trade from anywhere, right? That's the dream.
Yeah, man. I mean, trying to.
All right, so let's I ain't broke down any trades in a while. We'll jump into some trades. We're gonna talk about Edge and a couple other things, but I want to start. So I got a few I was gonna show, right, per usual. And the first one I wanted to show is Taboo, right? Loser.
I love Taboo.
Yeah, so do I. I don't give a shit. I've said all the time. I lose. I don't care. I have red days. Also, don't care. It's just the way it works for me. It's part of it. Don't really care. But I was gonna show this one first because this has been a hot ticker topic of conversation, whatever, for the last couple weeks now. Good old Carvana. I'm
Yep.
sure many people have seen these towers of beautiful spinning glass with cars, or maybe zero cars, because most of the ones I see now have zero cars because this company is probably on its way out the door. This is just a meme stock, for lack of a better word.
I'd say
I mean,
so.
it probably is. However, we know what the end game is with this, more than likely. We know where this is headed. But I can't trade this freaking thing to save my life. I can't. I just can't.
And man, I think it has a lot to do with just because we have a small cap type mindset,
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like we're discretionary with some systematic behaviors, and this doesn't fit my mold. And I attempted to trade it anyway, and rightfully so. I took a loss on it. Fortunately, I'm pretty damn good about if I lose 3 times on a ticker, I'm done. If I try 3 times, I don't try a fourth. And it's just simply because, like, I know I'm just not reading it. I'm not there. So,
and that's the best way to be with it, man, to be honest,
yeah. And I mean, so the chart's a little chopped, but I basically, this is right it open. I gave it a shot. Oh, I hear him.
Hey, well, y'all just play nice, okay?
You tell
Y'all
him
go
to
out there and
fight.
hang out because I'm doing this live thing, okay?
Okay.
Alright.
Right now?
Yeah, right now.
Tell him
I
he's
love-
on camera in front of millions of
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, you're on camera in front of millions of people.
Millions of people.
Sorry, man.
No, it's all good. So I took a shot. This was my first or second day back. Now mind you, Carvana started its run around the low teens. I think now it's trading in the higher 20s, mid 20s, maybe something like that. This was earlier in the week, but
Yeah,
I took a
I
shot.
traded it yesterday.
Yeah, and yours is good. Mine's well. Are you going to show yours?
Yeah, I'll show it, man. Just
Okay,
I did a long in honor of Tim Sykes, and
No, good, because I should have took a long right here, and this would have been a beautiful thing. But I attempted, cut again, attempted, and I'm like, hell yeah. And the thing is, had I covered right in this area, this would have been a small win. It would have paid for the earlier two losses. Wanting the break, this was the previous day's close. That's what the dotted line is. I wanted it to break that line and just break down. And I didn't get it. And then I saw it climbing back up, and I'm like, damn, I should cover here for break even. Damn, I should cover here for a small loss. And what I do, just continue to hold and finally cut, above this right here. I was like, if it breaks that, I got to be done. And I was done. And I think this was, like I said, my first or second day back. Today, Carvana was a beat. Yeah, well, Jet, damn it. I didn't trade today, but I hope you did, and I hope you killed it. Reminds me of the first. Yeah.
Jet did good today, man.
Good. I remember Bed Bath & Beyond. I traded Bed Bath & Beyond well, but
I did not. I traded it well, no, I take that back. I had one day where I had one of my biggest days last year.
Didn't hate it. Damn. Well,
But I remember last year trading Bed Bath & Beyond and trying to short it like a small cap.
well,
Out of the open, it spiked into the level I was looking at, and this is back when I was trading in another room and stuff. I think a lot of people were trading it, and I got stopped out for a $600 loss, and I was like, oh man, this thing's just gonna keep going, and then I long it, and then I take it just immediately slams, and I take a $1,600 loss, and
yeah, it gets ugly quick.
yeah, at the time I didn't have such a tight. My daily max loss was a little wider, and I just effed up on it, and
No, I mean, this was a loss, but again,
what
I'm
he
not.
just said, the Madaz flip. That's what I did. Madaz, whatever. That's exactly what I did. On that day, and I just screwed up on it. But then the day that they had that huge crack and everybody, won shorting it, whatever, I ended up making 10 grand on it, longing it. I say that day, it was the day that Steven Ducks got a huge short on it, made $1 million or whatever.
On that one trade, one ticker, crazy.
It's the last trade I've seen him take. It was last year.
Yeah, he don't put nothing out there no more. He keeps it pretty close to the chest.
I mean, dude, if I ran a paid room and stuff like that, I guess I probably would too.
Yeah, probably, especially for what he's charging. But anyway,
Yeah.
I took a loss on this. I'm not mad about it. I kept the risk in check. I didn't let it get away from me. This one here kind of sucks because I could have covered here for a small win. But, I followed my plan. I wanted the break of red to green and a flush. I didn't get it. I covered where my risk was set. And it is what it is. Losses are part of the game. This wasn't even a trade I would normally take. So, rightfully so, I lose. But, whatever. Part of it. It looks like it had that. He keep talking about that.
I love that.
I mean, I don't know. I can't trade Carvana to save my life. I'm pretty much at a point where I'm done. I'm done trading Carvana. Carvana could go from 20 to $1, and I won't participate because I can't get the timing right on that damn ticker. So I'm probably done with it. This is what I should learn to do. I should learn to long.
Well, and really, all this was I hadn't even taken a trade this day because me and my buddy Brady that's in the room.
This was yesterday, right?
Yeah. Me and Brady trade futures a lot, and it's fun, and I like doing it with him. Just we'll be chatting back and forth. Hey, thank you,
Appreciate
my homie right here. He's in the room too.
Yeah, we try, man. We try.
He trades
long day.
He trades futures with us too.
Yes, that's right. Y'all are the futures gang.
I mean, yeah, and he trades large caps and stuff too. He's a good trader. We've been talking for a while. But really, all this Carvana trade was for me was kind of like what Thiz was talking about when a couple weeks ago. Some of the guys in the room, just
that low volume pullback.
Yeah, low volume pullback, and look at where the level is. And this is just just kind of. I'm just taking it back to the basics here for me. I had my eye on like the $27 level from the hourly, and I'm thinking, I mean, this isn't a short here. This is not a short, and it's pulling back to that level right here. I mean, if you shorted it here, I mean, you're screwed here. You know what I mean? So it's like anybody that is trying to get out break even, that's where they're trying to, and there's that level. I mean, draw a line in it. It's pretty obvious. So I hit it long here, and I told all the guys, I was like, I'm gonna hit this long.
Yeah, I think you called that to the T. Literally, I mean, from your entry, you didn't even have a drawdown from your entry. Your entry was literally perfect.
I think I drew down like $100 at one point. I was watching it pretty.
Yeah, I mean, for 0.5. I mean, what, 30 seconds maybe? I mean, it literally long. Caught. Yeah, you caught it pretty damn good at the bottom.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, real ideally, it would have been sick to catch that super.
Oh, let's see if I still have that sound effect. I do.
Thank you, sir. But yeah, I really wanted like a little over 27. I don't remember what exactly it is on the hourly, but I was telling everybody, I was like, I'm gonna lock some in here at this consolidation just because I just wanted to. And after I saw it slam right there off of like 20, it was $26.99 and it slammed. I was like, oh man. I was like, let me take some off. I'm just gonna leave my little piece on. And I think this ended up going to like $27.60 that day. But I was done with it. And I mean, it was.
Yeah, I mean, you scraped 2 points out of that.
Yeah, man, like $2 a share.
And for a midday trade too, at that.
Yeah, so that was my only trade yesterday, and it worked out good. I traded futures a lot of the day. Me and Brady did. Just
one of these days you're gonna have to. We're gonna have to do a video, a little video on futures because like I'm futures ignorant. I know nothing of futures.
I mean, they're tough.
So currently no, but that's where we met.
Yeah, so that is where we met. So shout out to Justin Flynn, good dude. Yep. I like Justin, and
that's where we met at.
He did a little interview of both of us on his podcast show. Super cool guy. We like him.
Yep.
I mean, I've learned some stuff from him. Yeah, nothing but respect. Absolutely, he's a cool guy. I still talk to him sometimes. He's a good trader.
Yep. And that's the thing, man. I think I was talking to a guy in our room, Thiz, the other day too. Like, it'd be stupid not to learn stuff from other people. Anybody could have something to offer. It could be one little tidbit, but like, why would you not try to learn? I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to go off on what kind of size that dude trade. I don't know.
Dude, he does top tick stuff, and he's got some. He's got some good criteria for it, and I mean, I know he's kind of like he's very similar to how me and Craig trade. Is like, has some systematic approach. I mean, I know that's like cliche to say these days, but it's like you know,
He's kind of a hybrid. I would say one thing about him is he is very selective in his. He only trades a few tickers a day, maybe one or two. But he's patient for his entries, and he's got his criteria, and um,
yeah, he's like a real disciplined guy.
he uses fibs a little bit. I think he kind of uses a combat. He's like us, where he uses confluence. He wants fibs and daily levels and dilution and the volume. He wants multiple things to line up. So,
man, and I'll be honest, like,
similar styles to a degree.
fibs, man, like I've tried to use them. I feel like it's just too much for me.
I've never used fibs. I'm not even gonna lie, ever in my life.
I tried to use them for a while, and like it kind of works, but like, I mean,
again, it's to each. There's 1,000 ways to cut the pie. We say all the time, but I don't use them. Ain't nothing wrong with them.
it's
I don't use them.
I don't. I mean, I just don't think it. I don't know, man. Some people like live by them, but
Yep.
I like daily levels, hour levels. I like volume on those levels for a short. I like
Got to have that. You got to have that untapped liquidity.
exactly, man. Just levels of liquidity and price action. I mean that's
Yes, indeed. So
my whole thing I've gotten back to is I've tried to learn from so many people. Yeah, I've learned some stuff from Justin. I've learned some stuff from Craig. I've learned some stuff from Chris Verma. Like a bunch of guys on Twitter and just people before I got on Twitter. I mean, because I've been trading for a while before I even found out that there was this trading community on Twitter. You just gotta. I feel like
you got to find what works for you, man.
Yeah, and it's important to not just completely take everything that somebody says and just live by it. Like, I had things that were working for me before I got involved with certain people, and then it's like I abandoned those things, and now I'm doing back to like exactly how Sellers wants to trade, and I'm doing better than I've ever done. So.
Yep, and I think you just answered that question, right? Like, no disrespect to Justin, Laser Wolf, whatever. We didn't leave his room because of any sort of disagreement or anything like that. We just, we traded with him for a while. He had his thing. He's ultimately leading groups of new traders that are trying to find their footing, right?
I mean, he's great to find your footing.
And that's what he's doing. We're just at a point where that's not what we're doing, but we picked up some things, we shared some ideas, and I'm not even going to say we parted ways amicably, because I don't even think that's the case. We still communicate. So
like we're all still buddies and stuff. Like we talk to him all the time.
And if I didn't care about making a buck every day, I'd set those. I've tried to tell you, Jet. I love range orders, but I say I love them. I do on certain setups. Other thing, we've talked about it before. We don't set stops at high of day. We're looking for breaks and holds, so we don't get psyched out or whatever. But I
don't mind letting a trade go against me a little bit.
So I'm gonna show something, right? Because
let's see it.
I preach this freaking gap and crap. It's one of my favorite setups. Super low stress. Super easy to identify. I harp on it all the damn time. All the time. Oh, I was just seeing what Sam said. Yeah. I don't. So, speaking of what Sam said, this is.
Oh man, Sam.
This is the chart I trade on, right? Or I'm sorry. This is the chart I show my trades on. The chart I trade on is a 2-minute chart with VWAP. Entry, I enter on the 2-minute with VWAP. I exit on the 15-minute with VWAP, and I have a couple EMAs in there, like the 1-200 or the 5-200. But my charts are pretty clean. I don't keep much on my charts, but that's just my style. I don't.
I do.
And that's the thing. Like, I think that's just where it comes to, like, you do what works for you, and for me, like, I keep my shit pretty clean. I don't have much on there. Like, the chart I trade off of has less lines than the one I'm showing right now.
I'm trying to find out if I have
a picture. And I love the way Sam spelled favor, because Sam is from the other side of the pond, and that's how they spell favorite. And one of these days, here in the near future, I'm going to visit said other side of the pond, and I'm going to write the word favor like that and fit right in because I love it.
I love it too, man. And I wanna meet Sam, and I just want him to fucking tackle my ass because
You know, I wasn't going to say tackle. I was going to say I want to arm wrestle Sam. And, you know, correctly. Yeah, exactly. We don't know what we're doing on this side of the pond. We just wing it. As
dude,
you can tell,
Sam is famous, man. I see him hanging out with the famous people.
Sam's a good trader. Sam's a good trader. If y'all need somebody to follow to learn some
like actual trading,
yeah, like he's a good dude, man. He's sharp. He knows his stuff. But you know, so we were talking about trades, right? Going against us, and I love Gap and Craps. Look, Tatted and Sellers. That's Giannis. Who's Giannis? I love Giannis. This might be Giannis. I don't know. If it is Giannis, I love you.
Thank you, brother.
I'm sure shit is. Yeah, we do too. Like, you know, whatever. Freaking Twitter, right?
I try to and I've said this to you for a while, but like I share, unless it's just like a scalp or something. I mean, I always post it in our little, our little Discord room, which, like we always say, is a free little room. Anybody can come in it. Doesn't matter. But I mean, I pretty much post every single stock trade I take on Twitter, and that's like an accountability thing for me. It's like a journal.
Yep. Win, lost, or bust, whatever, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like a thing. Like, if I'm in a trade and I'm like, oh man, I would not want to post this chart on Twitter, then I have effed up. You know what I mean? And there's been many.
Oh yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
And that's what I tell myself. I'm like, if I wouldn't want to post this on Twitter, like if I wouldn't want to, then I shouldn't be trading. I shouldn't be doing this trade.
So we were going to talk a little bit about that today towards the end of this.
And
that is a good discussion.
And also what you said about moving averages, Sam, that's another very good part for that, because I have one that I want to show.
Yeah, you got a little. He's got a tinfoil conspiracy theory about that, which I think it's solid. But all right, so this one real quick, right? I love Gap and Craps. Huge spike, fades before opens weak. Ideally hits VWAP, kisses it, dies. Right.
I wish you had the whole chart in this, because
I do too.
But a lot of times, man, like ones like this,
I'm bad about that.
They'll have there'll be like a level that it could have bounced off of, and I used to hit those long all the time.
Yeah, I'm bad about capturing the whole chart. I usually, once I exit, I take the picture, post it, just because, but I got to start doing better at that. And I will. That's a good point. And I'm going to do better at that. But I took this, right, at VWAP. And so I've said this before. And this is something where I get a little weird about, should I say it? Should I not? Whatever. But, Gap and Craps, I'm usually willing to risk 7% above VWAP for my Gap and Crap, right? I'm usually willing to risk 7 for the first cover at 14, maybe Lotto at 21, or 3-1 basically is what I'm getting at. 3-1 risk reward, risk 1 to make 3 type of thing. But this one went against me a little bit, right? It wasn't a top tick, but my whole thesis for this was until right, and this is where I wish I had the whole chart, because this thing struggled with VWAP all of pre-market. It was a pretty weak and broken stock. It never showed any real sign of strength. So even when this volume came in, yes, it got above VWAP, but it could not hold its water above 2. I think I even put in the room, like I had a limit order at like 208 waiting to get filled. Obviously it didn't fill, and then it died, right? So this did go against me a little bit, but 2 is a nice whole level. It struggled in 2 in pre-market. I mean, it wasn't above my threshold for my data. And then, it worked out. Had it kept going, I'd have covered, I'd have taken a loss. But like, this is something I have back tested religiously over the course of years. This would have been stupid had I cut at 2 or 201. I had an ad ready at 208. Didn't hit. But anyway, I mean, it worked out. So the only thing I'm saying about this is you can eat off a gap and crap. One, I've preached on this numerous times. Like new traders, I still to this day think this is the singular best setup for new traders because it's easy to identify. It's pretty low risk. And as far as setting your targets, your risks, whatever, it's pretty, I don't want to say simple, but simple, right? Oh, Jet, what you talking about?
Oh,
You did it too. Next week, let's trade everything with size. No, Jet, damn it.
I love Jet.
He's funny, man.
I love Jet. He's a
he is something. But anyway, this is an easy setup for new people to learn, and it's an easy to identify setup. Pretty low risk. It's not too often you see these gap and craps just rip, hundreds of percent. I'm saying you got to have your risk in check regardless. But either way, I think it's an easy to identify setup. Pretty simple thing to start with, and I will forever harp on this till I die.
I'd like to see the data on risking 7% on a gap and crap over the course of a year, because you see. I've
shared that, and I'm not gonna put. No, I'm not gonna put it out here. I put it into our room to a couple people. I got that data over a few years on just this setup. And if you're willing to risk 7% above VWAP on this setup, risking a certain amount, it's got to be up X amount of percent. It's got to be within a certain, there's criteria, right? It's just not any gap and crap. It's got to be up X amount. It has to be within a certain dollar range. There's certain criteria that has to be met that I've shared with some people. But if you trade the ones that fall into that criteria, you risk your 7%. It's like a 72% win rate over the course of the last 4 years. I'm taking that every freaking time. And you remember I was talking to you months ago about it. I was getting pissed because I kept missing those damn setups over the last month or so because I was focusing on other shiny objects instead of focusing on the easy prey, that stuff.
That is,
anyway,
it's a very good point.
I don't want to go any more. I know we got other stuff to cover, but gap and craps, it's so easy. I wish I would trade them more often. I was really pissed at myself in May specifically because May I let a lot of those setups get by me because I was focused on China names, just other shiny objects. And instead I could have been focusing on those, risking less than 10% to make maybe 20.
You better not
over
trade
again.
Those China names. You better not.
Get me started on that. Anyway,
I'm gonna have to spank you if you trade those China names. If you do like me and trade those China names, I'm gonna trade those China names.
I'm gonna trade the shit out of those. Hell yeah! OMH was one of my best trades, I think, in May, and it was a China.
I trade the shit out of those China names. I don't care.
To each their own, man.
The only way you're gonna blow up is if you do that ad bullshit.
Don't add.
I'm not talking about anybody.
Because we've added before and we've lost our ass.
Yeah. I mean, back in like 2020, I did some adding and blew up, 30, 40K accounts.
Anyway, I
ain't got money like that. You know what I mean? Not to be doing that.
I ain't got the inheritance. We came up from we just on our own. So if we lose 5K, a K, 10K, 20K, 500, we're going to be, we're going to feel it. But anyway, Tatter, bro, for large caps, you treat levels.
No,
I can't answer that with a yes or no verbatim, or I say verbatim.
Well, I say no.
No, and I don't trade large caps like
man.
that. Yeah, large caps are a different breed, and I'm not even going to pretend like I know how to trade those. And I remember when small caps slowed down a little bit earlier in maybe summer 2022 or fall 2022. Everybody was trying to trade large caps and this, that, and the other, and was banging out top ticks and bottom ticks on large caps, a bunch of shit. Anyway, I wasn't one of those guys because I that's a whole different breed, man. And part of the reason I like to say I trade small caps is because we're trading with, this sounds horrible, but like dumb money, right? Chasers, and people think that it's going to go to 1 million or 1,000 a share or whatever. Like, the smart money is trading large caps, and I'm just not as good at competing with those people. I know where my niche is, and that's where I live, and that's a whole different breed with large caps. I'm not saying there's not an edge to be had in large caps. I just don't possess that. Simple as that. I don't remember winning China names. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. China names are a B. They are a B.
Hey, Farzad, is that a picture of you? Because I'm always wondering what you look like.
Now we know.
Now we know.
He could be a model.
He could. Damn, he's beautiful.
All right, I only got one other real chart to show. So if you got something to show.
Yeah, I got two that I was going to show, and I hate that Jet left because one of them was his idea, and it worked out real good.
Oh, you know what? Now that you say that, Mike D in our room, he called out, I'm going to show the trade. I'm going to hold it.
Oh yeah, dude. Mike's cool. He's an old buddy of mine.
Yeah, he's been around for a while, and he called out the perfect trade on work, and I took it based on what he was talking about because I was like, "This is a great fucking idea," and I traded it to his.
Man. He's been trading for a long time.
Yeah, he called it out to a T, and I hate that he cut it early because it worked beautifully. But anyway,
no, it wasn't today. It wasn't today.
No, it was yesterday. I didn't even trade today. But anyway, go ahead. What you got?
All right, this one's in honor of Jet, and this is Gree from yesterday, which I traded it today too. I shorted it, and it worked out okay. I damn near top ticked the short, but
doesn't count unless you top tick it.
Yeah, I had it had a nice daily level at 315 or hourly level, and it went to 320, and I think I had a 314 average. It was pretty nice, but like I made a little bit of money on it. It didn't go as low as I thought it was going to, but anyway, this is yesterday. Gree, Jet. We were in the room.
Yes, I remember this. This was yesterday.
Yeah, man. He was like, "This was a good trade for me, man. Like,
a really good trade."
Yeah, I didn't. It's like I didn't know. Dude, honestly, I just took this trade because he was like, I bet he had just posted a P&L where he had made like $10 on something. He was like, he was laughing about it, and we were all just kind of talking, and he was like, he said, I bet Gree goes to, I bet this $10 I just made, Gree goes to Hive Day. And I was like, I pulled up the chart, and I was like, I don't know what he's running as far as his charts go, but I was like, man, this is a good long.
Yeah.
And so I just hammered in right there on that first little piece of volume coming in, and then I saw a little more, and I was like, all right, yeah, I want to get in on this. And
here we go.
I just started selling. I mean, I only had a little bitty piece up here. This was like a YOLO type. Maybe it gets there. I was going to let it come all the way down, and it hit it. This is a good trade for me this week, and it worked out, man. But hey, in honor of Jet and in honor of Tim Sykes, it's a long.
Thoughts on Trader for Cause in November was really good. We've been talking. We've talked about it a little bit. We want to go.
I want to go, but I have another son that will be born on November 8th. So
you ain't going.
There's no way I'm going. And and me and Thiz were just talking about this yesterday. He's like, "Are y'all going to go to Traders for a Cause?" And I was like, "Dude, I want to, but I don't think I can."
And so I don't have a kid on the way because I'm old and I can't have more kids, I hope. But I want to go, but it's tough for me too. We get into holidays, my daughter's birthday. I'm going to see what I can do, but I want to go really bad. Seller's one of the few small caps who are great at launch. Yeah, Sellers can flip his bias, and I'm jealous, and I hate him for it, and I don't know why we're friends.
Man, I get really jealous. Dude, I'll be honest. Like, for a while, I got destroyed being just short biased, and it's because I didn't have a good handle on my risk management, is what it really boiled down to. But like, man, if I see a setup, like if I can, picture a long setup, I'll trade it. Which I mean, today I hit along on I wasn't gonna show it, but I hit along on MBOT, and it ended up being it. It turned out that it was actually just a small loss, but like it, which I posted on Twitter. For some reason, it's not letting me screenshot it right now. But if you want to go look, I longed it off the 1-200, which is something we're fixing to talk about, and it didn't work, man. I was like, this could, I was like, it's low volume, churning over the 1-200. That's something I like for a long, and
Yep.
it just had that look like it was just going to do something crazy at the end of the day. So I longed it, and I got stopped out, just like 2 cents under what, or a cent under what my average used to be, or what it was. I say used to be. I've had a few of these beers.
Yeah, Sam, I didn't even think about that. For you to get over here for the Traders for a Cause has got to be, it ain't cheap. Flying across the pond, and yeah, that's not cheap. So I wouldn't blame you either. One of these years, brother, though, we're gonna
Dude,
link up.
I mean, me and Charles were 100. Last year, we went to the Cobra thing in Dallas, and I'd never been to like any kind of trader meetup, and I was like, I am going to this. Me and him were both like, we're going to Traders for a Cause.
Oh, good question. Because I think this was one of my first questions for him too.
Yeah, dude, it is. It's a family name. Sellers is my first name. My name is Sellers Craddock Elkins.
I thought he was lying to me the first time he told me that.
I got 3 last names. Yep, it's weird. I know. My wife, I tell her it's weird, and she's like, "Oh, I like it." I'm like, "Yeah, you have to say that."
Yeah, she ain't got no choice now. You done, got her twice. So
I know, man. Me and both of my brothers, we all have the same initials. It's Sellers, Sam, and Sid, and they're all SCE is the initials.
nice.
And
All right.
we're gonna do the same with my 2 boys.
Yeah, Sawyer. Didn't even think, but yep.
Yeah, his middle name's Edge. That's my late father-in-law's it was his middle name. It was like grandmother's last name. We're from the South, so we do all that kind of stuff, like giving the same names for everybody.
Yeah, it's just what we do. All right, so
Oh, I'm sure it's not. I'm sure it's not.
yeah. So I was just gonna show this one real quick because this is one of the benefits of our room community, whatever you want to call it, right? Like just people sharing ideas. Works popped up on my scanners, right? I didn't really give it the time of day. I was watching other stuff, and then Mike D called out Works and laid out this criteria and his thesis, and I pulled up the chart and I looked at it. I'm like, damn, that's a really good level. That's a really good idea. I like that a lot. I'm gonna take it. This was a very liquid stock. It's a name I've traded before. It is a name that has had plenty of failed follow through before. Like, he literally called this play out 100%. He said, I'm taking it because 90 to $1 has a ton of failed follow through, and I'm gonna risk a new high a day. And I was like, shit, man, like that's a really good call. That's a good trade. I like the thesis. I liked everything about it. So I mean, I got in.
Mike's a
And
good trader, man. He's been trading a while.
yeah, and I mean, it went against me, but it never eclipsed that high a day. And to be completely honest with you, I would have added up to $1 because of the daily, which I'm going to show here in a minute. But it never broke that new high a day. And then the fade on this was like 40%. Not quite 40, 30, 35%. And it went lower. This is my cover here based on this breakout level, which it kind of held around, and the level 2 got a little heavy as far as buyers and whatever. This was a huge trade for me as far as percent. I'm not one just based on my style to hold for an all-day fade, and that's just something where like some people hold for all-day fades because it's part of their strategy, and some people hold for deeper price targets or whatever. I mean, on this one, I literally risked a 20 cents to make. So 1 to 1, right? But this was this is where I think this is where people differ. Low price tickers, right? The percentages can get wonky because you're trading something below a dollar. So when it goes up 5 cents, you're talking about 5 to 10% depending on the price. So yes, 1 to 1, I would have added up to a dollar, which would have increased my risk to reward based on my ads. But I mean, still, this was a huge trade. This
What was
like,
that one that was? There was that one that Nate and everybody traded. Everybody and their mama traded it like a couple months ago.
May have been ONCS, super low price, about ready to get delisted.
It wasn't that one. It wasn't the one that Buffy killed today. It was.
I don't know what it was. And I'm not against trading sub dollar tickers for the record either. I'll trade sub a dollar. This was nice.
I will too. I didn't do it today. I don't know.
I mean,
man.
I could have sat here and said like, oh, I got in at 80, risking 90 and made, 20 cents 2 to 1 risk reward, but I'd have added up to a dollar. Just to be real with you.
Where the chairman killed it.
I love the chairman. So part of the reason, and I want to show one other picture for Works because, we trade off of a bunch of different factors, but we love the daily, right? We love the daily. It's just a huge part of what we do. So, and I know this might be kind of hard to see because these little tiny thin red lines can be hard to see, but these are the lines I had drawn. So even at 80, right, it has some points of struggle, right? Here, a couple times here, a couple times here. It did eclipse it here with some volume, mind you, and I'm all about the volume, the untapped liquidity, if you will, above a dollar. So I'm like, okay, I get involved at 80. It still looks really good at a dollar. That's a huge psychological level. It's got some bags there with some pretty, it's pretty solid volume. Almost 40 million traded on this day. That's not nothing to scoff at. That's pretty heavy volume for something like this. So these are the lines I drew. And that's why I was willing to add up to that point with a break and hold of a dollar. If it had broke a dollar and held, I'd have had to take the L. But I mean,
no, you would have added all the way up to $3.
Maybe. Don't tell nobody. But this is a daily that I get excited about. This is what I'm here for, right? This daily shows plenty of failed follow through with some volume. Dude, I mean, this is something. So when he called that trade out, I'm like, dude, I'm looking at the daily. I'm looking at the chart on that day, and I'm just like, shit. He literally called that perfectly. So then I drew my lines, and I'm like, I'm taking it. So I took it, and it worked out beautifully. So I just wanted to show the daily because good levels with failed follow through. And what did it do again? Failed follow through. And actually, so I have one more picture I want to show. Just one more from today. Now the trade I took on Works was yesterday. But Works today also, I wish I'd have been at my desk for this because I'd have.
Man, and I hate I missed it. It went to like 90. Yeah,
look at this. Look at this. These are the same lines I had drawn, right? I traded it right in here the day prior. And look at this fade. This is literally a 50% fade off. You could have made 100% on your money from the short side. You could have shorted it at 80, covered in the 40s if you held it all day. You could have crushed it. And then what happens today? Boom. You could have taken a short here, risked this level, or added however you want to play it. To each their own. I probably would have taken here, added into here, risk. I would have risked a break and hold of a dollar. And again, the same freaking thing happened. But also want to point out, and this is what we kind of wanted to touch on too, this here old fancy blue line.
Yeah,
look at that hole.
Really want to touch on.
Yeah. So with that, all right. So,
and I feel like that's a good way to end all of this. It goes with what he was saying about edge erosion, everything, man,
yep.
Everything.
Because this, I'm just whatever. It is what it is. This blue line is the 1-200, right? And this EMA has been circulating around Twitter as a point of cover. So the stock jumps up, you take a short, it hits this blue line, you cover, right?
I
That
know I
has
do.
been, yeah, that's been something that's circulated around Twitter now for a couple years, and a lot of higher profile Twitter guys have made that pretty clear, pretty adamant that that's what they do. And I don't think it's any coincidence that you see this quite often. It gets down to that and it starts bouncing around and holding that line. So go ahead. When Sam was talking about edge erosion, right? Um, I think that's something that he's hitting the nail on the head on. But we can flip that on its head and be like, cool, it's the 1-200 and it's showing some staying power. That's like that's a seller's long because I can't long, but you can. Oh, sorry. Tatted last days I saw you start trading PM. Is it really a small cap cycle? No. To be completely honest with you, I don't trade much in pre-market at all, ever. The only time I trade pre-market is in the summertime because my kids are home from school. So I can stay at my computer during the whole pre-market cycle. When my kids are in school, during pre-market, I'm getting them to the bus. I'm chasing them around to get dressed, brush their teeth, et cetera, et cetera. I can't trade actively in pre-market, but during summer, I can a little bit more. I still don't like it. I'll never trade pre-market with any big size, but I will hit some stuff in pre-market at, bigger daily levels. I still don't, and I don't hit it with size because I just don't respect those levels as much in pre-market because things can get wonky with the liquidity and just it can skip up 10 cents or 10% off of a single buy order in pre-market. So I don't go too heavy in pre-market.
Yeah, I don't do a whole lot of pre-market trading either, to be honest.
But I
Honestly,
wanted,
probably just because I've gotten a little bit lazier. I don't wake up as early, and yeah, I just
no, I mean, to be honest, I trade less in the summertime because my kids are home. I could pull up a TraderSync profile for me in June, July, May, and it's going to be, it's going to have a lot of days where I don't take trades. But yeah, I mean, pre-market, I've never been a big pre-market trader. Definitely not after hours. But
yeah,
you ever see me
I try
trade
myself
something?
not to trade after hours.
Yeah, people ever see a chart from me where my only entry in pre-market or my only entry is in pre-market and I have a cover later in the day, just know that I was in with maybe a few hundred shares or nothing of any major size. I can't do it in pre-market.
It's
But
tough.
anyway, yeah.
So, on to the edge erosion, all that good shit that we were talking about. This is FWBI. I traded this maybe 2 days ago, whatever it was. Gapper.
Oh, one more question. You mean by risking X level and hold? So this is where me and sellers, we trade differently in a lot of areas, but one thing we agree on
100% agree on.
Yeah, so like, okay, take this chart right here, FWBI, where sellers got in roughly at 290, right? He's not going to set his stop at $3 or at a new high of day, because how many times have you seen a small cap just rip above $3 for
wick up to 320 and then just slam?
Right. So we want to see a break and hold of that level, not a quick little. And we like to short those fake. We call them FBOs or fake breakouts, where
we talk about them all the time. I mean, I'll say it in our little room all the time. I'm like, I'm looking for a fake breakout on this, and like I won't trade it until it gets there. Sometimes.
Yeah, like we love to hit those fake breakouts because they happen so often. That's been something we've seen more in the last couple years. And so we don't set hard stops above our entries, especially do high a day or high a day or whatever. Like we want to see a break and hold of that level. So typically if we're setting range orders, or if I'm setting a range order, that range order is in the money. I'm already paid. And if my range order hits, it's at an inconspicuous level. But even if it hits that range order, I'm still in the green type of thing.
Right.
Make yeah, man. I'm chasing kids around. Yep. It is what it is, man.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Edge erosion.
Yeah, and these are the charts I post on Twitter. This is not the chart I trade on. Charts I trade on, man, I've got volume, I've got RSI, I've got EMA 200. Sometimes I have a bunch of charts, a bunch of different settings, but my main chart I trade on has volume, RSI right here, 200 EMA, and VWAP, and then volume by price. I like the volume by price levels. Yeah, so I don't have the full chart on this, and it ended up fading way deeper. But most of the time, my first target on a gapper is the 1-200. I'm usually taking off a quarter to half. I don't remember where the 1-200 was on this. I wish I would have taken a picture with it. I probably did somewhere. I didn't screenshot it, and I can go pull it up if anybody wants to see it. But this right here, this is my all-out cover, and it hit. This is the 5-200. I'll usually set it a cent or two above it. I mean, I was watching this, sort of. I was looking at other stuff too, but there's my little conspiracy. And like what Sam said, the edge erosion, Twitter, and all that stuff, everybody is covering these EMAs. And that's sort of, I think they dropped a midday offering on this, is what it was.
They did. It was a private placement or something, if I remember right.
Yeah, but it hit the 5-minute 200 and rocketed off of it. I mean, I saw so many charts on Twitter where people were getting these bottom tick covers on the 5-200, and I'm thinking, I mean, I had a pretty decent amount of size, but I mean, probably not. I mean, I ain't got like short bear size or nothing like that. Like this is a good win for me, but I mean, I don't have like 50,000 shares or anything like that. So it's like, I just see all these people with these covers here. And it's like, I mean, is that what made it rocket? Everybody covering the 5-200? Because one of my long strategies is longing those 1-200s and 5-200s. Not necessarily the 5. If it gets to the 5-200, it's pretty weak usually. But I find that the 1-200s, a good spot to take some risk off and pay yourself a little bit,
And I think everything just goes through cycles, in my opinion. I've been through a few cycles with small caps.
You've been trading longer than everybody in this chat, me and everybody else. So
I mean, things go through. I mean, I remember back when like people would VWAP wasn't even a thing at some points in time. People just were looking at horizontal levels. Trend lines didn't exist. Not that you would see. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know and have seen everything. But for a long time, it was only horizontal lines on, key support and key resistance. Horizontal lines were all you see. You didn't see trend lines. You didn't see EMAs. I don't even know if I heard of an EMA until the last few years. Moving averages have been around for a long time. But I remember people taking covers or taking entries based on SMAs for a long time, and that was a thing. Fibs were, I feel like fibs were much bigger in the mid 2000s than they are now. I think some guys still stick to fibs, and I think the reason fibs got a lot of attention in the mid 2000s because that's when algo trading became a real heavy topic, and people were like, oh, the algos are based on these fib levels, so everybody was using fibs, and that was a key entry spot, long or short, based on these fib levels, based on algos. But this was 12 or 13, I don't know, whatever. I'm old as shit, and everything cycles. But what is now is not
just
going to be
high school then.
I know, I hate you. You said that in the room and I was like, why are we friends? But I think everything is going to go through cycles. The EMA thing now, it'll last, I think, for a year or so, and then that'll dissipate, and then and I think even now, I don't think it's as strong maybe now as it was a year or so ago. I think now people might handpick some charts on the 1-200 specifically and like, oh, look at this EMA on the 1-200, but what about the other 37 charts that didn't fit that mold? I do find the 5-200 to be a little more reliable on these rockets, especially on multi-day runners. That's just my 2 cents. The 5-200 on multi-day runners has been like money on a lot of setups.
I agree with you on that. If you look at a like a multi-day runner chart,
Yeah,
and
man.
a lot of them
5,200
pull back
crazy.
to 5,200, and I feel like it's a lot of
I'm sorry, I
everyday.
said 5,200. Yeah, well, 5 and the 15,200 too on multi-day runners. Like
I mean,
it could dip
the
down and just,
200, it can be on a lot of different time frames, you know.
yeah, but I think it's cyclical, I guess if that's the right word to use. But and that's why continued refinement of edge and data and stuff like that. So one thing I wanted to touch on real quick too, and I'm not going to go into too much detail about this because it's took a lot of work for one. All right. I don't know how well this is going to translate. You see it pretty good?
Hang on, I'm making it full screen.
I know some of the numbers might be hard to see, and that's fine. I'd probably prefer some of the numbers to be hard to see. But bottom line, this is one of your and I's favorite setups, right? We're going to do a video here in the near future on parabolic setups. We're not going to talk about the exact criteria we use or whatever, but we're going to talk a lot about parabolic setups and how we find them, trade them, whatever. This is an equity curve based on one of our parabolic setups that we trade, right? This is from years of tracking, hours of Excel, going through charts, trial and error, losses, wins, etc., etc. But the thin red line basically that's your start point, right? And this whole chart is based on you take the trade when certain triggers hit, you exit when certain things hit, whether your risk was hit or your target was hit, and this is what's going to happen. And this to me, because we had a long talk the other day in our room about edge, right? What is edge? What is a setup? How do you find it? What do you do? All these questions. And we had a pretty intense, got a little heated there for a minute.
Yeah, it really did.
But I mean, it's a real thing, right? Like people in 2020 and 2021 were fooled by randomness. You could literally almost buy anything and it kept going up and you could make money. You could also short a lot of stuff, these 1,000% runners, and at some point they were going to go back down. The market was
I remember just
insane.
holding my breath, being down just.
Oh no, we're not in that room anymore. That's how we met. Now we just talk amongst ourselves and our own little.
Yeah, I figured I'd throw it out there, and we'll put it in the description. All are welcome. We have our little trading unfiltered room, and it's you don't have to pay for it. It's
No, we
room.
just
But I mean,
talk about
we'll have to like approve. We don't just. It's not just like a room you can just go find the link and join. But like, if you want to come, we'll give you the link and we'll post it in the description. So I guess you really could. But
yeah, I mean, we try to keep it clean. So if somebody
we
comes in,
don't want like a bunch of like spam type fake people in there. That
right.
weren't. But anybody's welcome, and we're not charging for it. It's a
we ain't no paid room, brother.
But it is legit, and there's a lot of killers in there. There's some newer guys that come in and out.
Yep. And we've talked about this a lot in the room, but this, to me, this is edge. This is a setup that you could take 100 times, 1,000 times, 200 times, and this is what you should expect. The win rate on it is just under 70%. But if you were to literally take this setup every time it presented itself, this is what you would get. And I know you can't see all the numbers maybe over here verbatim, but basically that doesn't matter. The numbers are irrelevant. What is relevant is the equity curve based on the criteria. So that to me, that's edge, right? That is
100% edge.
That's, like I said, we're not systematic, but we have certain system, triggers or ideologies or whatever mixed with some discretion. But I mean, That's edge. That is edge right there. But this chart, I just posted and have talked about it for 2 minutes. But this chart for us to come up with it and come up with the criteria and all the different parameters has taken years to come up with the criteria for this. How much we risk, what our profit target is. We went through losses, we went through wins, we went through charts, we went through data. But I mean, this right here, like, this is money. If this presents itself and we take it every time it presents itself with the criteria we're given, our projected annual return is over 400%, which sounds amazing on paper. Now you include human emotions and fees and different things. Obviously, that's all going to change, right? We know that. You're not going to take every one because of certain flags or whatever. Yeah, and fees, you know, it's part of it. But either way, this is edge.
I paid $480 in fees today.
I bet you did trading futures.
Yeah, I did. That was just futures too.
I bet it was. I've heard that futures is, yeah. But yeah, man, that's edge. So when people talk about edge, this is edge. Finding a setup with a quantifiable, scalable, when that setup hits, you freaking take it. And we have charts that look just like this on multiple setups. So we know.
Hey, this chart would be a sick long.
Shit, yeah, I could. Yeah, I wish I could long. The only thing. But that's what I mean. That's it. That's edge. People ask like, "What's a setup?" I don't know what a setup is. I don't know what edge is. That's edge. But you know how long it took us to find that edge? It wasn't overnight. It wasn't over the course of a week or months. It was a long freaking time. So when people are like, "Here, take my strategy. Do this. Make a bunch of money and never have to do anything again," like, one, they're probably lying to you. Two, I don't believe it. And three, they're lying to you. Like, whatever. I obviously have a very heavy opinion on multiple of the paid rooms in the Twitterverse, and I hate 95% of them for a valid reason, because they're full of shit.
Totally agree with you.
Don't get me started. Next topic, because I'm going to go off on a tangent.
Hey, I mean, that's
I hate them all.
It.
I hate them all. Get me in, bro. Hit us up. You see us. So right below our names, right, is our Twitter handles. Pick one, DM us, and we will get you in there.
Absolutely.
Only blowing up that comes easy. Yeah. If you ain't careful, you'll blow up quick and easy. That's true. I've been around long. There's been so many people I've seen just disappear off of Twitter or the face of anything finance related just overnight, because you get annihilated.
I mean, yeah, I've blown up many times.
You know, I respect to Ryan, a guy we know.
He's in our room too. He talks sometimes.
He's mainly into futures, and I'm not calling him out because he's posted a video about this, and I wish I had the link because it's a great video. But he took a huge loss on a pretty much blew his account.
It was last summer. I remember the day, man.
And he pretty much blew his account. He even said on the video, he's like, I could have just disappeared off Twitter and whatever, you know, nobody would have known. But he posted it, he put it out there for people to see, and power to him, because that's not, one, easy to do, and two, it can happen to anybody. And it
probably happens to more people than you think, more often than you think.
Oh, hell yeah. People lose. That's the thing. All right, we're over an hour, so I don't want to go too much longer. But real quick, ain't nothing wrong with having a freaking red day. I can't stand this new shit on Twitter about I'm on a 38-day green streak. And I'm not saying some people aren't, and it's not viable. Maybe for scalpers and different things. I'm not saying it's not possible. But man, like when I was at Wells Fargo back in like 2007 and 8, like, man, it's a joke. Like, people lost all. I know some of the best traders in the world, or some of the best traders I've known or do know now, have a 35% win rate. They lose all the freaking time. But like, their losses are so minuscule compared to their winners. I mean, whatever. I don't know. To each their own, but like, there ain't nothing wrong with having a red day. It's so taboo, but there's literally nothing wrong with it. For fuck's sake.
I totally agree with you, man.
God, I can't stand it. All right. Do you have anything else you want to throw in?
Nah, man, I'm about to go eat.
Mexican?
Nah, we're gonna just eat in. I mean, my wife ordered pizza and stuff. We got
Hell yeah.
my son's in there with one of his friends. It's starting to storm here.
It might do the same here. But all right, so we covered a lot of charts. We talked about edge erosion, data. We've done a video on data tracking before. I don't know. Per usual, we ain't done one of these in a while. We're gonna try to get back into routine of doing these more often, doing videos more often. We've just had a lot going on, so we'll get back at it. But questions, comments, whatever, we appreciate. Like, share, all that good stuff. But yes, if there's comments, let us know. I can't think of nothing else. You think of anything else?
No, man, I can't.
All right, well, let's go eat food. You're gonna eat pizza. I'm probably gonna do Mexican because I love it so much, and I get margaritas to go in this great state.
That is awesome.
It's so awesome. All right. Oh, we got one last little thing here. Enjoyed listening to you guys. Appreciate you, Farzad.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
We'll see you back in the room. Yeah. Monday's market's closed. I don't know if futures are open because I know nothing about futures, but worst case scenario, Tuesday, we're back at it. And
I'll be flying Monday, man. I'm not going to be trading anything. I got a 8:55.
Oh, that's right.
AM flight. I got to go out.
He's on the laptop lifestyle. So,
Man,
it's all good.
I'm going to throw my laptop out of the plane this time.
Market's closed on Monday, so we'll holler at you Tuesday. Nothing else.
That's right.
All right, big dog. Well, I'll holler at you this weekend. Top Tick, appreciate you. And I'll holler at you this weekend. Like I said, like, comment, share, subscribe. If there's questions, hit us up. And, we'll do our best to answer or whatever we do. But with that, peace. Have a good weekend, holiday, Juneteenth. Enjoy the 3-day weekend. Ignore the markets. Focus on your shit or yourself. Enjoy. Peace.